I know nothing about intentional community. What I do know is truth and unity. That's what I want. That's what will create love through healing. And the family of truth that I want to create. But intentional community, I've never been a part of one, except for trying to create my own. And it hasn't been in a physical location where I've wanted to be. If anything, I've been trying to create something to hang on energetically to a place I don't want to be at. And I think we do a lot of that in our lives. You know? Particularly if you're a leader, you'll go ahead and try and grow something to give you the energy and the sustenance to carry forward in your daily life, even though those people actually don't care about you in the same way that you would care about them. It's kind of weird. But hopefully you're building something meaningful, whether it's local, whether it's something that's international. Hopefully you're building something with purpose. I've succeeded in some ways, in other ways I've had complete failures. But here's where things get kind of interesting, is that in going into an intentional community where you're learning something that is completely different from everything that you already formerly know, and you're choosing to live out in nature, you're choosing to grow your own food and just, I don't know if bougies is the right word, but live out in the bougies. It's a completely different lifestyle. And to make that transition, to feel more at peace within an intentional community, I am going there because I feel that I need love and support, right? Now, let's just say I don't know anybody there. And I'm going there because I feel like the change of location and already set with the intention, this intentional community is going to uplift me. Okay. Now let's just say I do know somebody there. I'm going there to go support them and them support me and also the intentional community. It's a complete change of environment, changes my energy, my motivations and everything. So whether or not both of those are true, let's put it into the perspective of, can you go to the intentional community despite not having the second part, somebody that you're going there to get to know or support in some way, and hopefully you equate and relate certain ideas on the same page? Would I be able to do one without the other? It's a really good question. I kind of want to dive into that, because knowingly having not even had my first conversation with somebody, more like sending text messages back and forth, which really sucks for me. I previously thought I would be able to go to, hey Mr. Lizard, bye-bye, into the wheel well. Oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't get spun up for his life, run up and dried on the pavement. Ouch. And when my thoughts were I could go just for the community, not for the outcome of anything with a particular person, I thought it'd be okay. But then I realized there's this big explosion in my kind of mind. Not explosion, but big whoa there. Okay. So the truth is, of course, you want love and support. It's the only reason you're really going there. And the drastic change of your life would change your outlook on everything. And would probably change your actions and how you're considering your own values and application of the current lifestyle you have. So, being that it's more supportive, you can see your mission and vision being executed upon a little bit better. And that's what I would want, mostly, is the love and support for someone to see your vision, right? Now, there is a difference between seeing a vision with an intentional community, just be it growing your own food and living out a lifestyle within this environment, versus let's go change the freaking world, change ourselves and the world, right? So I don't know how that would go, but I feel like the closer you can get to a guarantee that you're going to get the support so that you can live out your life and be free as everything you actually are, the better. But I'm also fixed on this idea that I can't just live and enjoy my life and do nothing, right? So there is a certain element of success that I feel I need, even though in this time I am buying myself time to be able to have my health so I can go out and live and do what I need. I would really prefer not to have to pursue a career solely based on emotional freedom coaching. It's not really what I want to do. I would much rather dance and perform, but I also love doing emotional freedom coaching. So it's just something about having to represent this avatar I don't like. I like being authentic. So maybe that'll detour from my actual intentions of just sharing my energy for others to benefit. But I also have a lot of value to add and share. So in some capacity, it's worth it. But anyways, 6 minutes into the video already, this particular person sent these messages that completely threw me off. And they were talking in a way that whatever they were saying, it wasn't really connecting with me. It was more like they were saying and speaking whatever the hell they wanted to about themselves when they were trying to communicate at me, but nothing was really hitting the dartboard. It was just all outside the dartboard. Nothing was connecting. If you're trying to hit somebody dead in the heart with love or connection, you don't go forward and continue projecting your own thoughts and ideas onto somebody else as if it's their beliefs or what they need. So it was really odd. Oh my gosh, this thing's massive. Look at this banana thing. They always smell so funky. Look at. So it's really odd when somebody continues to say what they think you need or want, or either they advise you. It's like maybe their way of connection is telling you what you need to change or do or how you need to think. And maybe because I watched this dating video by Teal, and essentially people are putting up their inauthentic self to dupe somebody when they end up changing who they actually are when they become this next version of themselves. And that next version of themselves may just be the opposite of what it is that they're showing up as. So, for example, your adult self is there to protect your child, and that adult self ends up doing all the actions that would help you compensate for what the child actually needs. So in other words, with a personal touch and element, my personal experience is I have to remain in control. I have to be independent. I have to do, go, and get everything taken care of because I can't rely on other people. But on the innermost parts of myself, the child is like, let me just sit here and close myself up like this, have nothing to do with the world, because nobody's going to help me. Nobody actually cares. So why does it even matter? I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to die. So there's a huge change in the shift of responsibility between those parts, and how one perceives themselves and how one picks up the weight of the other, right? And essentially my spine getting all crippled is the adult, and the child has to do with the pain at the bottom of my spine, which also has to do with my sexual organs, which puts me in a place where I cannot be rooted in some sort of support, care, stability. So it's really interesting. But in any regards, I'm talking about this other person. If they are in a mindset where they are so far off from being able to attune to you, your version of reality, and mentally they could potentially be, because I'm not judging this person, so unstable that in order to have a relationship with them, it would drive you crazy. And you're going to a different part of the country to go and be in this area, to be with them, hypothetically, you know? I mean, I'm not going there for that person, but having the support of that one person is going to be really remarkable because it's what I need. And it's not like I'm going to get all that from some unguaranteed person, right? I'm going there knowing somebody who can hopefully help me in the route around of connecting with myself and everybody. But in any case, it's really odd when you know somebody may be having challenges mentally that you can't exactly relate to, but you want to help. And while you're not there actually trying to save them, you're just trying to help them. And you know, like somebody's going through suffering and has gone through suffering so many more times than the average person. I guess I quote it from like an anime show, is like, I'm going to take away that suffering, you know, like I'm going to take away that pain. I think it's something I'm capable of doing, but to what extent am I willing to lose myself to gain myself? You know? I already went through that process. Like, I already did that. I want to help people. I want people to change. I want to create truth and unity, but to me it's really shocking. It's really shocking in a capacity where I don't know the outcome and I don't know the person. That's also because I haven't actually spoken with them. But it raises extremely red flags. Extremely large and a great multitude of red flags immediately before you even talk to the person. For them to be telling you what they're channeling is that they're talking to you about you for advice. And wow, like, it makes a huge impression saying, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, you think you can connect with somebody, but everything they're saying is missing the board. It's just so, I don't know. It's like, I don't know that I would want to go all in that direction for something like that if that's going to be one of my most supportive relationships, you know? It's like, and they're telling me I really need attunement. Yes, that's true. If you're going to talk to me, you need to be on the same page. But they need attunement, you know? Like, they need somebody to see them and understand them. Fuck, it's got to be hard for them if they're projecting things that are completely out of this world compared to painting a picture of who I am and my relationships and what I'm about. They're telling me how to go about it. Like, whoa. So I understand it's a means of connection. I understand this person's going through their own thing. I want an intentional community, that's for sure. It's ideal for me to have some sort of romantic relationship or a partner, somebody who would actually see into me, feel me, you know, deeply understand me, have that intimacy, and I can be able to share my world with, because that's going to help support me with my inner child who struggles with a lot of things. And I think by going forward with knowing something like that would be great, and also I don't mind risking everything for that. That's one of the main things. Actually, that is the main thing, because if I were to go to an intentional community, intentionally being there just to change my life, it doesn't really fucking matter without the guaranteed support, or without any support, really, because my ability to change my life is dependent. It's really dependent on the stall, which is to say the stall is me waiting for me to have my health, but also energetically raising my vibration while I'm experiencing joy with someone, which I'm having trouble experiencing by myself because there's nobody that appreciates me as I am right now that I'm close with. So the joy is in sharing my joy with the world and having them appreciate me as me. So, by going to a completely different area, moving somewhere and having a completely different environment, trying to figure out all these extrinsic things like how to grow plants and raise your food and work with animals, like, it doesn't matter as much to me as actual connection does, because that's what I'm vying for. That's what I want. That's what I need in love. I need love and support. So if I can go about having some sort of relationship, knowing that the connection will be supportive and loving at the very least. I was thinking it doesn't have to be romantic, right? It doesn't have to be. Ideally, it would be. But if I know that somebody's going to be there with me and see into me, love me and accept me and support me as I am, I think that's the most meaningful thing. But unless if you have a really close relationship, how do you guarantee that? You don't. I mean, you can't even control your relationships, Mike. So, like, you can't control other people. So, you know, like, that's the whole thing. It's like, it's going in with complete uncertainty and doubt, and not even having faith in this case. It's just going because I could go and change my life and feel better about it instead of having to be in Los Angeles and feel like shit every day. I'd much rather want that. But if you're not going to get the love and support, it's not worth it. So at least knowing that you would be accepted, loved, and supported going into this place by one person makes all the difference, right? I mean, I would have to think that in my previous part of my life with the girlfriend that I had, because they ended up coming to where I was, I think they had that so they could live out that plan, and we discussed it and it worked for a period of time. So it makes sense that, you know, it'd be great if I were just seeking this for myself and I wasn't seeking to. Connection's so important, people. Like, fuck, man. If I had my health, then I would be living my life to the best of my potential. I would definitely fly out and move to some other place and not have to worry about all things LA. My life would be completely different. But the fact of the matter is, here I am, looking at everything as though it's so temporary. I'm just here existing. I'm just here being a part of an experience that I don't really want to be a part of. So, what do I have to let go of? Becomes the question. What am I willing to let go of? What am I willing to give up? Am I willing to make a whole move on the doubt and the uncertainty of I may not get what I want? Or if I do get what I want, then it's going to be through a whole lot of fucking work trying to get somebody to be on the same page. I don't know, man. To some extent, that's cool, but I would rather have somebody that's healthy, no doubt. Because how are they supposed to take care of you when they can't take care of themselves? Yeah, I mean, I'm also in a similar situation with my health. It's like, until I have that, my life's not going to change. So maybe for the right person, it's accepting those things about them, making an exception that you otherwise wouldn't if it weren't them in particular. I don't really know, but it's a good process to think about the question. Now at least I know if I wasn't supported and making that move, then I wouldn't go, because it wouldn't feel right moving to a different part of the world without having anybody there to be like, hey, open arms, you're welcome here. I'm here to help you through this. Thanks for coming out here, either for me or for... Yeah, it's got to be for them. Well, not for them, but with them, right? That's important. So I know that. Back to my previous question. Would I be willing to go out there on my own without any of that? I'm not really trying to start a new life. What I'm trying to do is buy time and get the most joy out of the experience so I can proceed to live my life, because my life would be more meaningful. Right now it's not the most intentional and not the most meaningful when I run it alone. So I need that. I need my life to be very intentional. So I think it'd be important to have that. Discuss that. The nature of the experience, yes. Yes, it is quite so. So I don't think there are any more questions about this. It's really something that I'm just shocked by, and I don't know how to process it, because like, I think what I was really trying to get into this video is, if somebody's so mentally not there, really mentally not there, how do you love them? I don't know the answer, and it's something I would have to explore. But ultimately, you would have to choose to love them, right? You would have to choose to bring them into your experience. You would have to choose to walk through the fire with them. You would help them. It's obviously an overwhelming task. So I don't know.